bathroom, a well, septic tank, and electricity. And December of last year, we went back and we handed out school supplies, and they were just wonderful. They were ecstatic to see our staff there, and so we couldn't have done it without the support of everyone here in this room and all of our supporters. They're so passionate about what we do, and we appreciate that. And so this year, we aim to build our second school. And tonight we will be revealing where that second school is and the blueprint of that school. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. We have raffles and drinks, and so don't be shy. Make sure you go and mingle and get some drinks and just have fun, okay? But before I close, I want to say thank you to all of my sponsors, DFC Global, Vang Children's Urgent Care for being our student guardian sponsors, Panda Express, the Brioche Lady, and I'm forgetting one. Someone help me. Oh yes, the Laotian American community here in Fresno. Thank you guys so much for extending your generosity to our organization. And also, I want to say thank you to Panda Express again for sponsoring food for our volunteers. And then last but not least, I want to say thank you to all of my volunteers, especially my event committee. They are amazing people. They put this whole thing together. I didn't even do anything today. Okay, so if you see them, please say thank you to them and give them a warm round of applause, okay? Thank you.
Professor Emeritus of California State University Stanislaus. So please welcome Dr. Ku Yang.
And good evening. It is my honor and privilege to extend my warmest welcome to our special guest tonight, His Excellency my Sayo and his travel delegation from Washington, D.C. Thank you, Your Excellency, for taking time out of your busy schedule to visit the Lao and Hmong American community in Fresno. We are delighted to welcome you and your delegation to town. I hope all of you feel at home in Fresno. Let me give you a quick overview of history of the Lao and Hmong American community here in Fresno. In the early 1980s, Hmong began to migrate from other part of the country to Fresno for farming, and some Hmong families from Southern California brought their Lao friend along. Gradually, the Fresno Lao community has grown to be more than 10,000. A small population of Hmoob, Mia, and other ethnic groups also called Fresno Tejo. With a population of nearly 35,000, Fresno is now home to the second largest concentration of Hmong population in the U.S. Besides the farming economy here, one can also easily find Hmong working class from assembly line to high-tech job, from teacher to university professor, from school superintendent to university associate vice president. Hmong American small businesses and service in Fresno have also also been noticeable, ranging from small food vendor to upscale sushi restaurant, from small grocery store to supermarket, and from small convenience shop to professional offices. Last and most importantly, many people in Laos also know the telephone area code of Fresno, which means Fresno is now a major city that links those who live near to our friends and family in Laos. Telephone communication and social media have brought our people closer together more than ever. So that is a quick snapshot account of the Lao and Hmong American community here in Fresno. In looking forward, ladies and gentlemen, anything that has yet to come, and everyone can take part in changing it. We all must learn from our past in order to make the future a better place for our children and future generations. To do so, we must be realistic and devote our time, energy, skill, expertise, and resources to make things happen, not just wait for things to come our way. An example of this is a call to action for all of us to advocate for and support our children's education. It is our moral responsibility as a parents and community to provide good education to all our children. Confucius once said, if you think in terms of a year, plant a seed. If you think in terms of 10 years, plant a tree. If in terms of 100 years, educate people. In addition, Nobel Peace Laureate Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. The children in Laos are the children of our brother, sister, and cousin, and they have a great need for decent school, book, pencil, and well-trained teacher. If each one of us will contribute just $1 a day to the educational fund for Laos, this fund should be more than enough to build one school a year for the children in Laos and help hundreds of them to succeed in school. Besides having more well-trained teachers at all levels of school, we also need to invest in more highly trained civil servants, researchers, engineers, and scientists in Laos, so that Laos can advance in modern technology and expand its human capital. Currently, there are more than 30,000 Vietnamese students studying in the US, but less than 300 from Laos. Laos is greatly underrepresented in this area. And that is one of the things that I have been reaching out to the US Embassy in Vientiane to help sponsor Lao students to the US through the Fulbright and other fellowship programs. During President Obama's historic visit to Laos last year, he unveiled educational program for young girls in Laos, and we committed $90 million to clear our next floor bomb in Laos. President Obama also joined Lao President Unyang Volachit in issuing the joint presidential declaration through a comprehensive partnership agreement in advancing US-Lao bilateral relations. In particular, item 20 in their presidential declaration called for an increased people-to-people ties. To reach this goal, the number of US visas to the people in Laos need to be increased as Laos is underrepresented in this area. In 2015, for example, the US consulate in Laos issued 2,318 non-immigrant visas to people in Laos compared to 3,318 visas for Cambodia and more than 100,000 visas for Vietnamese. At the beginning of this year, I visited Laos and had the opportunity to bring up to the attention of U.S. Embassy in Vientiane the need to increase the number of U.S. visas to people in Laos. I strongly believe that people tie is so important, especially with the largest Lao and Hmong American population in the U.S. I encourage you all to continue writing to your member of Congress to support a stronger U.S.-Lao relation by engaging people of Laos to rebuild their economy, infrastructure, educational system, and technology. I am particularly struck and encouraged by what President Obama has done. He has set the right path for all of us. President Obama has laid out the groundwork for us. It is up to us to do our part as a citizen of this country to support and advocate U.S. engagement policy toward Laos. This is a duty and responsibility that we must help to advance the relationship between our motherland and our new homeland of the United States to a new level. Let me conclude my remark by quoting our 35th President John F. Kennedy said 50 years ago in his inauguration speech, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country." So my friend, we all need to do both for our fellow citizens here and help our friend and relative in Laos as well. Thank you.
Our next speaker was appointed by, our next speaker was appointed Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Lao People's Democratic Republic to the United States of America in May of 2015. So may I ask you all to stand and please help welcome Our Excellency Ambassador Mike.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Susan. Dear Susan Song, founder of and CEO of Hopeful Encounter Inn and a board member of the Hopeful Encounter Inn. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure for me and my wife and my staff to have the opportunity to come to Fresno, California again. It is my second visit to California. My first visit was last year when I joined the U.S. ASEAN Special Summit in Sunnyland, California, 2016. Please allow me to express my sincere thanks and appreciation and best regard to Mr. Sam Liatu, who cannot join us today, for his initiative and encouraged me to come to join this function. My thanks also to Mrs. Susan Song, the entire member of the whole encounter it, for inviting me to this important function. That's providing me the opportunity to meet all of you here today and to speak in this function. I think many of you visit your relative in Laos and visited many places in Laos as well. Nevertheless, I would like to share with you some information or update you a little bit about the current situation in Laos. Due to the time constraint, I will talk a few things, few sectors about that. Ladies and gentlemen, Laos is one of the ASEAN member countries, has struggled many years, remain one of the world poorest. But the nation that is proud of its accomplishment and its plan for the achievement in the near future. Over the past 42 years, the multi-ethnic Lao people brought about significant achievement in many areas, thereby laying a solid foundation and creating new momentum for our beloved nation to further advance towards established goals. The most significant and fundamental achievement is our capacity to safeguard the independent sovereignty and territorial integrity of our nation, ensure political stability, security, and social order. These fundamentals have enabled the Lao government and enhance people's life and living standard, gradually bringing progress and prosperity to all of the Lao people, lifting millions of our multi-ethnic citizens out of poverty. To determine the progress, one needs to only compare the economic and social conditions throughout Laos today with those of any past time, whether focusing on the availability of merchandise, services, education, healthcare, infrastructure, and many others. Let me share with you a little bit about some sectors, like agriculture. Laos is an agriculture-based economy. For that reason, the government of Laos has attached great importance to the agricultural development, especially to address the rice shortage and food security for the Lao people, to stop slash and burn cultivation. The irrigation project has been installed and built in every part of the country in order to supply water to enable the people to cultivate rice more than once a year. In 1980, we could produce rice only 1,050,000 tons. In 2014, the rice production reached 4,003,000 tons. We now have sufficient in rice production. Even we have small portion for export to our neighboring country. Apart from rice, we also grow fruit tree, rubber plantation, other industrial trees, grow corn, sugarcane, cassava root, and other food production for export. Animal husbandry also had been transformed to a commercial one. Now there are 287 cattle farms, 762 pig farms, 428 chicken farms, and many other farms. You might know that Dr. Sabletu has a cattle farm in Sempong province as well. Industry and trade from 1986 to 1990 was a period that the new economic reform and the openness policy. Industry had been developed gradually at the average of 8% increase, especially the manufacturing sector. During the period of 2000 to 2010, the average growth of industrial sector increased by 12%. The factory will increase from 100 factories in 1976 to 39,872 factories in 2013. The manufacturing and processing sector are the fastest growth, which is covered 21%. The brewery covered 15% of the food processing. The trade. In 2014 to 2015, we export about 3.3 billion, while import 10.6 billion. Goods being exported were raw mineral product, industrial product, electricity, imported goods were construction material, vehicle spare part, fuel, material for industrial production, electronic appliances. Education, the area that is reflects this function today. After 1975, the statistics show that about 90% of the Lao population were illiteracy. For that reason, the Lao government attached great importance for the human resource development to be a driving force for the socio-economic development for the country. At present time, the rate of children in 5-year-old, 55% attend preschool. The rate of children attend primary school about 98%. Children attend high school about 69%. The literacy rate of the children aged 15 to 24 years reached 99%. In 1976, there were only 4,444 primary schools. In 2014, there were 8,927 schools and 196 private schools, about 878,000 students. In 1976, there were 83 middle schools. Now there are 1,500 schools, middle school and high school, with about 543,000 students. Apart from the development of the general education, the technical school and vocational school have been installed and expanded in many provinces. Now throughout the country, we have 95 vocational schools. There are 5 universities, 4 belong to the Ministry of Education, 1 belongs to the Ministry of Public Health. We have 133 colleges, 73 of them are private colleges. Foreign relations. After the liberation of the country, the government and the Lao people recognized that Lao is a small country surrounded by a big and powerful country. Thus, the Lao government implemented the foreign policy of peace, independent friendship and cooperation with all states around the world. In 1997, Lao became a member of ASEAN. In 2013, a member of World Trade Organization, and now we have diplomatic relations with 139 countries around the world. The policy towards the Lao overseas. The Lao government has spent tireless effort in harmonizing and mobilizing solidarity of the entire Lao people. It was also stated in our party document, which is quote, "Party always regard overseas Lao as part of our national community. Consequently, the party welcomes those who are loyal to their nation and love their motherland and look back to their country and are ready to contribute both intellectually and physically as well as resources to the construction of the motherland, joining with the Lao people living inside the country." In this connection, I would like to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to our Lao Hmong community in the United States, especially in California, and those individuals who have good relations and extend good cooperation and support to me, the Lao Embassy, and the government, and the people back home in Laos. I observe that the Lao Hmong community living abroad play a very important role in reaching the host country and their motherland in many ways, start from promotion of understanding, building trust, building business, and set up humanitarian projects for the people in Lao. A hopeful encounter is one of good sample that is help building a school in Hmong province. I really hope that the next project will be built in the Lao very soon, and not just only in Hmong province, but other part of the country as well. On this occasion, on behalf of the Lao government, the people and children of Hmong province, I would like to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to Mrs. Susan Song and her entire member, and of course the Lao Hmong community for their very good gesture and valuable support to the Lao people. Your assistance and your assistance significantly contributes to the human resource development in the Lao media. I sincerely hope that your efforts and support will not end at this point, but will continue on and on. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to speak a little bit about the US-Lao relation. In fact, our two countries established diplomatic relations since 1955. Despite the difficulty in the past history, even the turbulent history, the relation between the two countries has never been disrupted. In the past 40 years, with the willingness of our two countries and people, relations between Laos and the United States have continued to evolve and develop gradually. I am very gratified that relation and cooperation between Laos and the US have continuously, consistently progressed, illustrated by exchange visit of high-ranking delegation between the two countries. Last year, Ministry of Public Security of Laos visited the United States and met with own security agencies, including National Intelligence Agency, CIA, NBI, Homeland Security, National Security Agency of the White House, to discuss the cooperation in security matter. John Kerry, Secretary of State, visited Laos in 2016, and the same year, President Obama also paid an official and the first time of the state visit to the Laos area. The two countries also have expanded cooperation in many fields such as MIA, surveillance, narcotic control, cooperation in the health sector and humanitarian assistance, law enforcement against drug producer and trafficker, and many others. To me, the US-Lao relations at present have evolved to a level better than any time in the past. Both Laos and the US are now making every effort to raise our bilateral relations to a higher and higher standard in the 21st century. I would like to express my deep and sincere appreciation to our friends here who have a clear understanding of the real situation in Laos and informed vision for the future of US-Lao relations. I sincerely hope that our efforts and support, your effort and support will not end at any time soon, but continue to help build prosperity that will reinforce ever-improving relations between Laos and the US. I wish all of our guests here today good health, happiness, and great success in your noble task. Thank you very much.
Elementary grades and currently serve as a vice principal at Erickson Elementary School. So please help me welcome Dr. Vicky Jean-Paul.
All right, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I just want to thank Susan and Eric for having me as their keynote speaker. I'm going to start my PowerPoint right now, so let me see if it's coming on. Again, my name is Vicky Jean-Paul, and I've been an educator for 21 years. In the audience, I have with me my awesome husband of 28 years. He is sitting with Dr. Koo there. Kyle Loring, thank you for coming with me tonight. So as you can see up here, I am a refugee from Laos, and it is an honor to meet the ambassador and his wife tonight. And it is also an honor to follow after Dr. Koo, who I consulted before getting my doctorate in education. This is my family. I have 3 children. We have 3 children. I can't have them by myself. We have 3 children. I have 2 awesome boys. They are 23 and 18. And both will be graduating from their schools this year. Our oldest son is Josh Lord. He is graduating from
Fresno State with the mechanical engineer major in May. We're anticipating his party already. And then our son Brandon is graduating from Buchanan High School in Clovis. Our youngest daughter is 17. And the reason why I mention them is because they are a product of an educational system here in the United States. And so are we. Most of us in here have benefited from getting an education. And that is why I'm here tonight to remind you of the importance and the impact an early education has on all of you and myself. So I'm going to start off with this. We are parents, most of us are, and there are some very young people in this room, and you too will be parents. We are our children's first teacher, and the most important, okay? Parents are great. Without them, okay, we would not know what's right from wrong. And so on this slide I have, I quoted a little research here. It says, according to research studies of individual families, what a family does to encourage learning is more important to student success than the parent's education or income. So I too can attest to that because I came to the United States at the age of 7. And my parents did not know any English. However, at this age, I'm 42, I was able to get a doctorate degree. So despite my parents' educational outcomes or what have you, because of their support from home, they've sheltered me from any financial burden. They've every time I come home from school, there was always a home-cooked meal for me. And due to all those factors, I'm able to succeed in my educational endeavor. The second quote here says, if every parent or children aged 1 through 9 spent 1 hour reading or working on schoolwork with his or her child 5 days a week, that would be 8.7 billion hours. That number of hours, if spent by teachers in our children's schools, would cost American taxpayers at least $230 billion. About the same as what we pay yearly for kinder to 12th grade public education in our country. So as you can see, our parents at home, if we do that, we would help advance our kids' educational outcome as well. Okay, so it doesn't matter if our students are here in America or back home in Laos. Okay, if we contribute to their education as parents, there would be a great outcome for all of us. As Vice Principal of Erickson Elementary, I'm also in the Early Learning Academy. That means that as principal and vice principals, we need to know how to guide our teachers and how to support them so that they can better service our young learners. So one of the studies that we looked at is the impact of early education on preschool and transitional kinder students. So if students were provided the opportunity to go to preschool or kindergarten, they would have a higher earning potential. They would commit fewer crimes, more would likely go to high school and graduate, and more of them would be able to hold a job. In addition, the benefits of an early education, you would have 5 or more adults who would earn more than $2,000 a month by the age of 27. Twice as many men would be raising their children in the home. In the United States, we have a lot of single-family homes where most of the men, especially in our Black and African American families, our Hispanic, Latino families, and our Asian communities, who are minorities, okay? A lot of our men are being incarcerated, okay? So if we educate kids from a young age, they would have the right education, therefore they can hold a job, Therefore, they would know what's right and wrong. Therefore, they would be a father in the home versus a father being incarcerated. There would be a 37% increase in car ownership and a 32% increase in home ownership. In addition, 46 fewer arrests would be made by the age of 27 and 440 fewer lifetime months. This study was done, it was called the Perry Preschool Study, and how they came up with this statistic is they followed 123 students who were born in poverty from 1962 to 1967. And at the age of 40, okay, they found out that more of the kids who went to preschool or had an early education were more successful, more so, than the kids in the control group who did not go to preschool or have an early education opportunity. So Dr. Koo and I did not plan this speech or anything, but he used two of the proverbs that I'm going to share with you up here too. But as an early education person or a teacher, as well as a vice principal, we know that our kids learn in multiple modalities, meaning they have to see it, they have to read it, they have to write it. So this is just a visual. So investments in early education, okay? Our parents always says that once you get an education, nobody can take that from you, okay? So one of the first Chinese proverb here says, learning is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere. Once we provide an education for our students, they will be able to take it wherever they go. The other one here is what Dr. Koo shared. We are investing in children because of this Chinese proverb. If you want 1 year of prosperity, grow grain. If you want 10 years of prosperity, grow trees. And if you want 100 years of prosperity, grow people. And how do we grow people? By providing them with an education at an early age. The last one here is a saying by Malcolm X, and he says that education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. So we are preparing for our children's education, whether it be here in the United States or in Laos, okay, where Susan and Eric have their school. We have to prepare them for the future, and we're starting it today. So I'm really glad that this is a full house, because as I can see, and you all can see, we all value education very much, and that is why you're here today. A few more statistics. This one says, what's the return on $20 invested in early education or in early childhood education? So if you invest $20, okay, it says that kids who go to preschool or have an early education will earn 14% more than those who do not. They have that earning potential. So in the end, participants who have gone to preschool or will go to preschool can earn about $156,000 more, $156,000 more than those that don't in their lifetime. Moving forward, we have some life skills that we can teach our early childhood students. And there are 7 life skills here that I have. The first one here is that they can be focused and they have self-control. Okay, the second one, perspective taking. Being around your peers gives you different perspectives. Sometimes I see things differently than my peers. And as students go to school and they are getting an education, they are being taught that. The third one is communicating. If we go to school, we are We have to talk, we have to communicate our needs, our wants, okay? We have to ask questions. So it teaches us that. We are making connections, we're doing critical thinking, and we're taking on challenges that maybe otherwise our parents may have babied us. And then we are self-directed and engaged in our learning. Oftentimes when you go to school, the teachers tell you what to do. But now in Fresno Unified, we're going towards where kids have to explore too. They have to explore, they have to make decisions, and decide what it is they want to learn, and go from there. So, one of the books, and this is a proverb too, but it says it takes a village to raise and educate a child. The original African proverb was, it takes a village to raise a child. Okay, today it takes a village to educate a child. And this is our village right here. With the issues here in the United States, we have to, as parents and as husbands and wives, we have to work 2 jobs to support our family. And we know that our kids come from broken homes where they're being raised by maybe just dad or just mom. And at my school, where I serve as vice principal, our kids are being raised by grandparents. And if they don't have any family members, they go to foster homes. Okay? That is the reality that we all live in. And so it does take a village to raise a child and to educate them. But with an early education for our children, they will be able to grow in mind, body, and spirit. Again, they will have socialization skills, cooperation skills. They will be lifelong learners, and it starts young. Okay? If you don't educate your kids, or if you don't provide an opportunity for them to go to school, try to get them to school in the 7th grade. They're not going to want to go, right? So if you start young, they will have that. They will have developed that love of learning, and therefore they will be very enthusiastic about going to school, and therefore there's never a fight about going to school. Children also benefit from being exposed to different communities, to different diverse learners. They develop teamwork abilities. They're resilient. They can concentrate on the things that they're studying. Because if they're home, they will not be able to do that. They develop patience and confidence through an early education. So with these pictures I just took off of the internet, but even here in the Central Valley in Fresno, it does take a village to raise our kids. We have social workers at our site. We have classified people, aides. We also have teachers, resource counselors, school psychologists. Our kids need all of the resources that they can get to make sure that they are successful. And this is the quote too that Dr. Koo mentioned, okay? Nelson Mandela is a very powerful person in my life. I first learned about him back when I was in the 10th grade, where I took world history. And he lived in South Africa, and he fought for justice and equity and equality in South Africa. That's how I learned about him. And then when I went on to 11th grade, 12th grade, and then into college, I totally forgot about him until he was released from jail, prison, and then he became the president in South Africa. That's when I was introduced to him again. So he did say that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Education is the tool that I use to change my lifestyle and my world. And I know that education is the tool that most of you used to get to where you are today. So it is the only key for us who are in poverty or who lived in poverty to climb that ladder of advancement. So in closing, I just want to say that the time is right for all of us to contribute to society through our love, our passion, our talents, and in any capacity that you and I can do. Because our lives will only be enriched when we too have enriched others and the lives of them. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I look forward to meeting all of you.
Our last guest has touched the hearts of many readers. His writing is published in the Academy of American Poets, Waterstone Review, and the New York Times, among others. Please welcome So Vang.
Good evening. So it's my job to motivate you guys. So hopefully you are halfway there already. So tonight I'm going to read some poems. And many of you might not have heard poetry reading by Hmong poets. So this would be a first for some of us. You know, as a Hmong American writer, I'm not a pioneer. And you might know that Dr. Koo is a pioneering scholar, but he's also a pioneering poet, a writer that 40 years ago started writing about Hmong life. And so before I read my poems, I would like to invite him to come up here to read one of his poems to start off the reading. Dr. Koo.
I learned to write poem when I was in the Buddhist temple. No television, no radio. Very poor boy. So the peaceful environment of the temple allowed me to express myself in writing. So when I came to the refugee camp in Thailand in 1975, I used my time to write poem and other form of writing. So this is one of them, and I'm reading Hmong for you. Bây giờ giờ xin tu lọ wa ipa, xin lu li sun da, xin chu li sun ka, le ti po tiet giờ ti wa thơ ba tu plua tu chua, ka mong sẽ là xin gì. Bây giờ giờ xin ba, tua ba cầu i lu rò, yo xin thả khó giò, bây mong luôn nên xử lý, nhau thì check y gì xử lý chỉ một ai nhau. Mong thiên lý một kiện do chuyện đầu trả giá. Bây giờ là tuần tế sĩ ba, là tuần ba thiên trí dụng. Có mong trình chỉ nên nhau một công, có mong của bản chung và mình nhau một tàu mong thiên lý và tàu rộng đoàn tu nhau lý của chồng. And here you go to hear two poems from very different time. One is very ancient, and we have a young one, and he's going to express his poem in the 21st century, and mine is the 20th century. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Koo. So that was the Hmong version. And some of you might not understand or know what Hmong poetry is. So I'm going to translate it in English. And I thank Dr. Koo for allowing me to read his work and translate some of them into English. So, hand in hand we help one another. Arm in arm we advance. We should love one another, together united as one people. Love strong as a hive of bees, as precious as a nest of wasps. Those with education and wealth reach out to help the poor. The poor helps the orphan. So Hmong will rise together, shoulder to shoulder. We should help one another, hand in hand, share a village. Arm in arm, discuss and improve our Hmong life, fallen far behind. Rising late without a homeland, unable to live as one nation. We Hmong have many worries, scattered across many lands. Come, let's hold hands to help, hold arms to find solutions, to improve our Hmong image, build our reputation. So we will grow and prosper, living noble, worthy lives. Then we will fulfill our faith, living in harmony with heaven and earth. Many of you might know that Laos was the most bombed country in the world. There are more bombs dropped in Laos than all of was dropped in Germany. So right now in Laos, there are still thousands of unexploded bombs, and children can walk in the countryside, and if they step on a bomb, they can be injured or killed. So this poem is about that, about the cluster bombs. If you don't know, a cluster bomb is a bomb that has hundreds of little bombs in there, and once it lands, it scatters all over the place. And so those bombs can be in the ground for 10 years, 20 years. So after 40 years, children in Laos can still walk around and get injured by these bombs. So I wrote this poem in the perspective of the bomb. You know, this bomb has been dropped 40 years ago, and the pilots and the builders of these bombs might have already died, but this bomb live on. And so this poem is almost like the bomb speaking, okay? Song of the cluster bomblet. I am a seed of the tree of knowledge. I arrive here in mother's still womb as dark, snug pod with my 100 siblings. On impact, her womb released and we fragmented hundreds of yards. I am a blue, rich-winged ball, created to appeal to any child's senses of beauty and curiosity. When a child finds me, clustered among roots of berries or wildflowers, and cradles me in her warm hands, my heart melts. All right. The next poem is called The Sling, and the sling refers to the Hmong baby carrier that we use, the lanyards. And I see young people nowadays still using it. So it's a very symbolic device for something that carries our heritage from generation to generation. So the sling. With this embroidered cloth, my forebears carried all that was precious across the countless landscape of China, crossing the Yellow River, fleeing south. With these long sashes, my ancestors wrapped precious seeds, tight against their backs, crossing the Red River into Vietnam and Laos. With this lanyard, my great-grandparents enfolded and protected their children from tigers and spirits, crossing the Dragon River, blazing new fields. With this baby sling, my parents shielded my siblings and me, seeking shelter across the land of war, crossing the Mekong River for Thailand and beyond. Now, with this heirloom, I carry my daughters and sons up the volcanic slopes of Hawaii, across the rugged rocks of the Central Coast, among the Sierra Nevada foothills, crossing and recrossing the San Joaquin River and the Kings River. In this land between these two rivers, in this Fresno, I carry on. In this Fresno, we carry on. All right, this last poem is called Momentum. And how many of you know about the Secret War? You don't know? Well, who knows? All right. So the name of the Secret War in military terms, or in code name, was called Operation Momentum. How many of you know that? Okay, so when the U.S. came to Laos, they made a contract with Jervang Pao and to train Hmong and other Lao ethnics to be soldiers, to fight in the war, and they named it Operation Momentum. So this poem is about that. Momentum. My brothers and sisters, I know sometimes you feel powerless, don't know what to do, you're stuck in place with nowhere to go. Then I want you to remember this word, momentum. Our parents and grandparents were stuck in the mountains of Laos, subsisting on daily labors, back-breaking each day in the fields only to feed the family for the night. Day after day, month after month, year after year. Then the US and Thai governments saw us and said, look how strong, how enduring they are, yet so ignorant of the world. We'll use them as a sword to fight our war, as a shield to deflect our enemies' weapons, as a wall to halt our enemies' advance. We'll call this Operation Momentum. So we Hmong were conscripted, taught to read and write, trained to fight and fly, and we have been gaining momentum ever since. Like a rock rolling down a mountain slope, like a river surging towards the sea. And here we are, from illiterate mountain tribespeople to nurses and doctors, teachers and superintendents, lawyers and legislators, builders and architects, actors and producers, and yets, poets and writers, in the mere span of 50 years. That's momentum. So when you're stuck, remember, you